Racing. And finally, after doing everything right, he crosses the line here in Abu Dhabi for the first Christmas race for JCC events. He's going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and is the winner of the grand prize tonight, £100. Right then, good afternoon everybody and welcome along to the 2 p.m. social race here in the World Racing Championship, and one where I've been able to choose the track myself. We're here in Spa-Francorchamps, then here in the hills, the longest track on the Formula 1 calendar, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one, a track that I've chosen myself. Should be quite a nice night of racing. I think 22 laps for the Grand Prix, but of course the laps around here are incredibly long compared to your usual Formula 1 track. Devon Barrett in the chat, good to see you, mate. Welcome back into the stream. A lot of returning people as well. Excellent choice in track, by the way, says Brandon Plays. I'm glad to see that people are happy with the choice. I've seen a few people in the in the Discord, sorry, as well, that have said that it is a good choice. So glad to have pleased a few people. Hard to please everybody, but a lot of people are happy with the choice. Here then with a short qualifying session first of all, then we go into a 50% race and a full grid this evening, starting early as well here in this Grand Prix. We did start about 10 minutes early, which is pretty much unheard of here in WRC at the moment, but we are starting to get going a little bit earlier day by day, which is really, really good. And of course, this is my last day of commentary then for about a week and a half before I go on holiday tomorrow morning. So I've got this one and two more today. I'm on for the 4 p.m. social race and the 6 p.m. Formula 2 social race as well. My last two streams after this before we are over and done with. I'm going to try and see if we've got some lap times coming around then. See the first driver to do so will be. There's an Aston Martin looking quite far around, but I don't know if he's on a lap time just yet. It's Harco. Never mind, he's on an out lap. There's somebody behind him. Let's just see what the Haas is doing. It is Solar the Yeeter, a driver who we are very, very fond of. We know exactly who he is, and of course does pretty well in these WRC social races historically. And now round the bus stop chicane and towards the line. It'll be the first time in the afternoon then here in Spa, and the Haas going for a decent time. It's a 44.4 on the first run, and expect that not to be beaten at the minute. Solar absolutely cooking in the early stages as across the line for BC Lol then 2 seconds down on that provisional pole time, a 46.8 then for BC Lol as across the line for an Alpine. It is going to be a 50.2. Big gap between the drivers already. Best Noah now to second place. He's set at 46.7. Wood Butcher in 4 then with a 46.7 here as Luke M sets a 46.4. Brownie now for a 46.2. And all the times coming in now in Spa as Ben Veen with a third place, a 46.3. A lot of drivers now in the 46s. Seems like we're going to have that as the average lap time here in Spa today. But Solar's already a cut above the rest then in the Haas car. A 44.4 is the best time we're looking at the minute, and that was his first time. It was the first time in the afternoon. And I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm really not. But I am looking forward to seeing what he can do. His winning margins are always pretty crazy. Can he get another big win this afternoon in that Haas car? Bramble for second place then. Bobby Lyons then in third. As then we have Brownie, Ben Veen, Luke M, Best Noah. As Bramble has actually good point there in the chat. I've only just noticed the time. A 44.5. That's the first driver to bring the action here to Solar the Yeeter. Yesterday we did get that with one of the drivers, and it's looking like we might get that again here today with Bramble if he can continue this kind of pace. As someone says, I rate the choice of track. Love to see that. Really do like to see that. A lot of people happy with the choice of track then this afternoon, which is what we wanted to happen. And I've also chosen for the 4 p.m. race as well. The 6 p.m. is already chosen. That is set in stone. That is Imola. But the 4 p.m., I will be announcing that when we get to it. And you have to be a little bit more patient for it. But here in qualifying then, Solar the Eater dominating in the early stages. Bramble then second place, Bobby Lyons third. 4 is Ace then here as Emmanuel sets 5. P6 is Brownie, 7 Ben Veen into the pit lane. Luke M8, best knowing 9. Would Butcher into 11 as skill issues now across the line for P8. And we go to Maximizer in P13, who not entirely sure. I think he's been on a lap time. Yeah, low fuel mode, so he'll be coming into the pit lane. Solar says, for your info, Jack, Bramble is just as quick as me, if not nearly quicker. So nice to see we have somebody at Solar's pace here to really bring the fight to him. He's been dominating recently, but if someone can actually try and stop him in his tracks and we get a good battle at the front, that is going to be quite nice, isn't it? And that is hopefully what we can get on this Grand Prix start. But still a few minutes or a little while of qualifying left. We never quite know how long we have because there's always yellow flags with a full grid. You can never quite see how many minutes left of qualifying there is. Jeff, do you know what time roughly the 10 p.m. social race attendance will go out? I'm not sure. If it's not out already, it will be within the next few hours. You're just going to have to stay around in the Discord and keep your eye on your phone. I'm not too sure, to be honest, mate, but if it's not out already, it should be within the next few hours for that. How have you been, mate? I've been very good, thanks, mate, in the chat. Very, very good indeed. Cannot wait to go away tomorrow morning. But 3 streams left. It's been a long week, I have to say. I think since Tuesday, or it might be since Monday, I don't know. I've been doing 3 streams a day all the way through the week. It's been a very long week, but really enjoyable as well. And I don't think we're going to get this many races when I come back because it will be the start of Season 5. So really making the most of these events here in WRC, which, of course, rebranding to more esports, MOR esports for Season 5. And I guess I don't really need to explain that much anymore because we have got a hell of a lot of people in the Discord server, nearly 400 people in the brand new Discord server, which day by day has been gaining massively. And of course the TikTok, huge as well, with I think now 3.2k followers nearly. Yeah, 3,167. So a lot of followers that we have started to rack up. And on the road to 10,000, which is where we want to get to eventually. That would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? But Twitch Brands then into the pit lane. At the back here, I'm not entirely sure how I'm even saying that username. There's just a lot of letters and numbers to my eyes. Going to call him the Aston Martin because I do not know how I'm saying any of that. As he makes his way down and towards the Eau Rouge corner, up the top of the hill, the probably most famous corner here in Formula 1 and here at Spa. Can he make his way down towards the first sector with an improvement? Actually, he won't because he's not even set a time just yet. This is the first time around then for the Aston Martin, and it's a 31.967. His teammate Harco not set a time either just yet on an out lap. Too far behind to give him any tow as well. So this Aston Martin on his own then here in Spa. A very long lap time and being around 46 now. There's about a minute left then of his lap here. A majority of it consists of a very long run down towards the bus stop chicane. And it's Aston Martin now. I think this is Pouon to the left-hand side. Could be completely wrong, though. And now all the way down. Braking hard to the right-hand side, making sure the car can grip up. The soft compound tyres, of course, have no issue with doing that at all. Now towards the middle sector. Is it going to be a decent time here for the Aston, a 1:19.073, as now you're back on the power and has no battery left now down the back straight. This is what you do not want to be doing. The Aston Martin down in P20 with no battery now to use down this back straight. A poor use of battery management, unfortunately. Very nearly invalidating there as well, sending it really deep. And the Aston Martin into the bus stop chicane. It's not looking quick, as the battery running out completely down the back straight. Now towards the line then here in Spa. It does have a little bit on the lifting and coasting. And it's a 49.802 for the Aston as it stands. Solar the Yeeter is finding nearly 0.3 of a second on this lap time. A 44.4. Can he go quicker than the banker lap? And he does by 1/10.5 here. The Haas driver extending that pole margin. Bramble's out there as well, and he's found a 10th.5 in the middle sector. It is purple in the sector 2. Now the final third to come then for the Alpine, who's going to beat Solar the Eater on time this afternoon. Is it possible for the Alpine? I would love to see him take provisional pole. We've not seen somebody take pole different than Solar for a good few days, it feels like. Now into the bus stop chicane and towards the line. Low fuel mode on, as light as a feather now for the Alpine, as across the line here in qualifying. It's not enough for pole position. 500th of a second up, half a tenth, but not enough there to get ahead of Solar the Eater. 2.5 tenths of a second down, and he'll have to settle for second place at the minute. There's Drew now in the chat. Hello, mate. Welcome into the stream. 22 in the TikTok as well. 24 in the Twitch, and for the first time in a while, the Twitch outnumbers the TikTok as Bobby Lyons in the Red Bull. I was not expecting that. 0.8 of a second found. What a brilliant lap time then that he's managed to set here. A 44.208. Nearly a whole tenth of a second up over Solar the Eater here. That is a very nice effort from the Red Bull. Quickest time here in Spa so far. 5 minutes to go, and there is time to beat that. But he came out of nowhere, didn't he? He came out of absolutely nowhere. A nice improvement for him. And somebody gets ahead of Solar the Eater here in qualifying. The first time we've seen that in a long while. As Solar will be coming into the pit lane in a moment's time. Bramble should be coming in as well, as he's on the low fuel mode now. As let's have a look at some lap times. Luke M down on time, Brownie down. We got Ben Veen then through the middle sector, having a little bit more battery than we've seen some other drivers have. 0.6 of a second up, but I am worried that that time's going to get lost here with only 10% battery and not even deploying any of it. Down towards the back straight. Deploys the last bit. Might not be too bad as across the line now for the Alpine, a 44.1. Finally, people bring in the qualifying time pace here to Solar the Eater. The Alpine now of Stint, I believe, goes to the quickest time, a 44.1. Honestly, nobody expecting that. What a brilliant time. And we're just going to have a look now for skill issues around the bus stop chicane. It'll be foot flat to the floor with the battery being burnt now, deploying up towards the line here in Spa for the Mercedes. And it's going to be 0.2 of a second down. I thought that was going to be good here. There's people saying, wow, so they're not first. I know, it's a worrying thing for Solar. He's not been there for a while, has he? You know, down in third place. He normally is up on that provisional pole position. Finally, people are here and being able to bring that pace to him. A bit of competition for him to have to deal with. It's Stint in that P1 place, Bobby 2, and Solar the Eater in third. He's got a bit of work to do here then to get himself back up there. The Stubler on his return then to WRC here in P6 at the moment. But on an invalidation, will not be setting this lap time. Brownie has the low fuel mode, will be going into the pit lane at the end of this one. Skill issues as well is making their way around. Quite a bit of battery saved up here. I don't know, this doesn't seem like a lap time. And Solar the Eater back on an out lap. So when he goes for that flying lap, we will spectate him. If drivers are in the pit lane, they're going to want to start to come out now. It's a very long lap around here in Spa, nearly 2 minutes. Nearly 2-minute lap, pretty much. And drivers are going to want to come out with only 2 minutes and 56 seconds to go. Not a lot of time left now. Twitch Bransdown in P20 makes his way down the back straight in towards the first sector. Down by half a second here. And we are going to stay with Bobby and Solar here, both on out laps. Solar the Eater will be going for a push lap. Probably enter WRC into some sort of esports with the amount of rapid people now. Honestly, you probably could. Obviously, this league has a huge variety of paces, from fast to, to slower. But the amount of quick drivers that we are accumulating now and getting in the league, it is insane. We never had this pace. The league was quick. The league was really quick beforehand, in my opinion. The Tuesday division felt really fast when I used to commentate on that. This is another level. It really is. the lap time spread from a 44 to a 49 then here in qualifying, and it is Stint in the Alpine who is going quicker by only about 800ths of a second then over Bobby Lyons. Then comes Solar the Eater, and he's a tenth of a second behind that. The top 5 all on outlaps. Bobby Lyons with a 5-place grid penalty for a collision here with Bramble. And Bramble, another driver that can bring the pace here. It's the top 4 all within a few tenths of a second. Do not go anywhere, because here is Solar the Eater, the man that has took pole for the last few events and won quite a few as well. One of the most dominant forces here in WRC, more esports. And Solar the Eater in third now is going to be going for that pole position time. This will be his final run of the day. Will not have any more time to go for another lap, and it's a long lap. A lot of places to make a mistake. You have to get it right here. Over the top of Eau Rouge, Radion now down the Camels straight and towards the end of Sector 1 then. A 44.3 is to beat. Has he found any time in the first sector? It's level. It's exactly bang on. He's exactly on the same time in the first sector as his last lap. I've not seen that before. I've not seen that very often at all. Solar might get a distant tow here from a driver in front, whether that be his teammate or a Cadillac. I can't really make out which one. Both are white. As Ahmed now with retiring from the session. In the Red Bull, down in P16. The Stubler then in P6. As here is Solar the Eater, making his way around and towards the end of Sector 2. Is this going to be an improvement now in the middle sector? The first sector was equal, and now a tenth of a second found. 1/10 getting him to the front row of the grid as it stands in the latter stage of the qualifying then here, everybody. Can the Haas get himself onto that front row of the grid, or even better, pole position at the end of this lap? It's burning every single last bit of battery now down towards the bus stop chicane, and through it he goes. And here in Spa, Solar going for pole and will not settle for anything less. It's foot flat to the floor, all of the battery towards the line. Solar the Eater back onto provisional pole with a 44.127, takes it by 0.003 of a second. Stint at the minute 8 by 0.008, and Bobby, we're not seeing what his first sector's looking like at the minute, but we're going to see what he's on. Stint's just behind him, so we're going to stay with the Red Bull here in third place. Bramble as well is down by 2 seconds here, so will not be able to catch the guys in front. Bobby Lyon here then in third has, of course, got that grid penalty, but it's still going to try and go for it, but was down in the middle sector. I think, it might be the first sector. Now the middle sector down by 0.07 of a second, then is the Red Bull. He's going to need a really good final sector for this to work. Bobby now in the Red Bull, his foot flat to the floor, but running out of battery. Does have a tow now from his teammate, I believe that is in front. Oh, so it's a Mercedes, never mind, helping him out. The Mercedes will move out of the way, or will he move out of the way? The Red Bull's getting caught up here then round the final turn, being impeded on his lap, and Bobby slowing down into the wall. As now Stint round the final turn. Will this be pole then for the Alpine? It is pole position, taking it away. 3 whole tenths of improvement. It is Stint in the Alpine at 43.836, ahead of Solar the Eater. And for the first time in a long while, pole position taken by a completely different driver. Stint then on pole here in Spa. Solar the Eater having to settle for second place. And that was a very nice end to qualifying. You don't see that very often. Solar the Eater has been beaten for the first time in a long while. And yeah, Drew's right as well. Bobby might have actually got pole if he wasn't impeded. But he has got a 5-place grid penalty, remember. However, he was looking quick. But that is it for qualifying then, everybody. A Stint in the Alpine ahead and on pole. In the chat, yeah, I completely agree. This is set to be a cracking race. I think I've chosen a good track here. I think this was a good choice. Always does bring in good action, especially in WRC. And these are your finishing results then here in Belgium. Stint then in the Alpine takes pole position by nearly 0.3 of a second then over Solar the Eater, second place, joined by Bobby Lyon in third with a 5-place grid penalty then for the Grand Prix start, starting in 8th. Bramble then 4 as Ace 5, Stubler 6, Emmanuel 7, BC Lol 8, 9, Best Noah, and 10, Matt Connor rounding off the top 10. We're going into your Grand Prix next then, everybody. I cannot wait. So glad that I chose this track now because people are starting to enjoy it. And what a close end to qualifying that was. Drew, the flight time tomorrow is 9:15. That's when I'll be heading off. Still got 3 commentaries to go, though, including this one. And the next one at 4 p.m. So we're going to do 2 in a row. And then, of course, the last one is an F2 at 6 o'clock. So 3 in a row, but the last one being Formula 2 action. I've never been amazing at F2 commentary, and I'm just trying to get better at it. I've only done it once or twice, so it is a little bit different for me. Jack, wish me luck because I'm on no line. Best of luck, mate. I wish you the absolute best of luck. We're at 57 people in the TikTok, 35 in the Twitch this evening. And if you haven't followed the TikTok or the Twitch already, make sure you go ahead and do that, as we are trying to reach 3,200 by the end of the stream. Only, I think, 30 away in the TikTok. There's Mikey Boy with a few treasure chests in the chat, treasure box, as we're on the grid. And actually, we'll have the formation lap this time, which is really nice. We did get caught off guard a little bit last time and went straight into it without a safety car. As we are getting ready to go racing here in Spa. I have to say it is a long formation lap, and as well as that, if you get a safety car, expect it to be a long race because it takes a long time for a safety car around here. I don't know if we will get one of them or not. Honestly, with the way the track is, of course, really widespread. There's not many walls and, you know, corners coming at you. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to get many safety cars. Maybe one on the start, potentially. But I'm excited to see how the drivers do here. This is going to be a really, really interesting race. Can you get red flags in league races? You can, but I think we have them off in league racing. Just because it ruins the flow, and when you get a red flag, it skips about 5 laps in front. So we tend to not do them. But if I'm correct, there is 22 laps of racing here in Spa, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've just seen how long the qualifying laps take, it is enough, trust me, because it still takes your 40-odd minutes of lap time to get the race done. And we just wait now for the drivers to line up on the grid. Very nice showing in the chat as well. I have to say, we've got a lot of people in the TikTok, but 35 in the Twitch is really nice because maybe we used to get over 20 on a good day. But we are always over 30 now in the Twitch. Really nice to see. Must have a lot of returning people joining us, as I can see we do, as people always messaging along in the chat. But welcome in, everybody. If you're just joining us, this is going to be a very nice Grand Prix. And Stint in the Alpine, the first driver to beat Solar the Eater for pole position in a good few days when he's turned up. The Haas driver, the most dominant force in the World Racing Championship as of now. And finally, somebody here to bring the pace and the action to him. Stint positions his car to the inside line. Well, he positions it to the outside, really. Solar positions it to the inside, both pointing inwards either way. And the drivers line up on the grid, everybody, here in the 2 p.m. social race in the World Racing Championship. 5 lights ahead of the drivers here in Spa, and it's Stint on pole. 5 lights out, and it's lights out, and away we go then for the drivers down towards the first corner. Short run then down towards the first corner here, and Stint trying to hold the lead from Solar the Eater, who goes up the inside line as 3 drivers take each other off at the back. Ahead goes Stint, though, back in front now of Solar the Eater on the start. 22 laps ahead of us as BC Lol already round at the back. Up towards Eau Rouge we go. Stint now ahead of Solar the Eater, and down the Kemmel straight we go. He's going to try and catch him up. 3 drivers now battling down towards the right-hander. and it is 3 abreast here in Spa. As Stint ahead, Bramble into P2, and so do the Yeeter now, dropping down to 3rd on the Grand Prix start. It is the 2 Alpines then who head to pack them 1 and 2. Solo 3, the Stubler now in 4, Ace in 5, Best Noah 6, Luke M in 7. Then comes Skill Issues in 8, and a very clean start for the drivers. It's going wide now for Butcher. Here comes Maximizer for a move up the inside line, can't do it. We've got the Aston Martin as well trying to get through there past the Ferrari. He's gone and done that move, done and dusted for him, as here comes the Stubler up the inside line of the Haas. Move done and dusted up the inside. A brilliant overtake there for the McLaren as he does get in front, but the move not done just yet as Solar trying to take it back side by side between the drivers. Solar goes into 3rd place, back on the podium positions then here this afternoon. Wow, what a start then, everybody, here in the Spa Grand Prix, the Belgian Grand Prix then here. Really nice comments in the chat as well. I appreciate everybody watching us live here in Spa. 22 laps of racing ahead of us. 21 then as we cross the line in a moment. The first lap about to come to an end, and it's going to be Stint then in the Alpine, trying to keep the lead over Bramble, his teammate, in 2nd place. Then comes Solar, then comes Ace. It's the Alpines against the Hasses here. And Solar and Ace doing a decent job, but he has lost the place as Solar from the start, down to 3rd. Did start in 2nd place here. The Alpines looking to be the better drivers as it stands. Remember, as well, wherever he is, I'm just trying to find him, unless he's gone down the grid. Bobby Lyons to the back of the grid. Yeah, what's happened to him? Down to the back in P22. He started 5 places back then from where he would have started originally because of a 5-place grid penalty. And now look where he is. Here comes the Alpines then. Down the Camel Straight. It's Solar the Yeeter against the 2 Alpines. 3 abreast now in towards the right-hander. And Bramble, for the first time today, takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix ahead of his teammate. Stint will try and take it back, but nowhere near enough. Ahead goes Bramble, leading here in Spa. Stint to 2. Solar the Yeeter is going to do what he can to catch back up. But I have to say, Solar not doing as well as we normally would think he would be doing here. This man has won many races recently. He's took pole in nearly every event that he's been at in the last few days, and now on the backside of the 2 Alpines, just hasn't got that pace to really put the pressure on. Is going to try though this time up the inside line. And that Alpine of Stint managing to hold him off then at the moment. Ahead he goes then into 2nd place. And Bramble leading ahead of his teammate here with 194 people watching live in the TikTok, 36 then in the Twitch. And if you haven't followed us already, make sure you do. We're going for 3,200 before the end of the stream and very close towards that goal now. Here comes Stint on his teammate, round the outside line if he can. Level between the teammates, locking up then both of them on the front, right and left, in towards the final corner here and up towards the line. You never quite know who's going to take it here, and this is the beauty of Spa, because he might get through here. Solar the Yeeter is going to try and move here on the Alpine, and even if he does get in front, we've got a long run now up towards the Camel Straight, of course, where you can potentially get that move back again. This time, Solar not taking it, and now up towards Eau Rouge, down the Camel Straight again, and with the battery, the Haas car might have an opportunity, but different now because here comes the Alpine of Stint on Bramble, on his teammate. These guys had a different approach to it. Can the Alpine get through past his teammate? Not today. Closes him off. Bramble holding P1 at the moment. And Stint just not being able to do anything about it from taking pole down to 2nd place in this Grand Prix so far. Solar the Yeeter now just trying to find a gap, trying to find a bit of space there to get his car through. But it just isn't working out for him yet, is it? He just can't find that move, and even if he does, he can't make it permanent, and that's the issue at the minute for Solar the Yeeter. Hasn't got the pace to maintain that position when he gets through. He's on the yellow fuel light as well, meaning that he is running under the laps that he should be. That means he's under-fueled for the race. He's expecting a safety car potentially, or if not, he's going to have to do a bit of lifting and coasting here to try and bring that fuel level to the right amount of laps. As the 2 Alpines battle then down towards the bus stop chicane. The 2 Hasses come behind that, but Solar the Yeeter the closest one between them. Getting closer now as Stint up the inside line of his teammate, and the Haas now trying to find a gap up the inside. Can he get through here as they give it everything into the bus stop chicane? Here comes the Haas of Solar the Yeeter, still trying to put that pressure on the Alpines. And one Alpine is going to go for that move on his teammate once again. Bramble with the move at the minute. Stint now tries up the inside. Now they're level up towards the bus stop chicane, the Eau Rouge, of course. And that is a virtual safety car, full safety car, as the Aston Martin is out. And a full safety car already here in Spa. Can you believe it then? Full safety car deployed. And so did the Eater in third. Don't know if he's going to be happy with this or not. Might be okay. Bramble and Stint, the two Alpines then, out in front. And doing well as Butcher with a 10-second time penalty now for a collision with BC. Lol. 10-second penalty. One of the worst penalties you can get here. Solar playing the game, saying that he's not trying to make the move, he's staying behind. So he's not trying to do it. And he does have the pace then. He does have that pace to go ahead and win this Grand Prix. Interested to see how this race ends up then. Only 4 laps in at 22. And now under a safety car where you're going to have to wait for a minute, everybody. We are going to have to wait now to catch up behind the safety car with the drivers, and it does normally take a little bit longer at this particular track because of how long it is. But nice time to interact with you guys in the chat. There's nearly 200 people again in the TikTok and 42 in the Twitch this evening. We are also live on YouTube, which I haven't been able to go and look at just yet as I haven't got enough screens to actually see it. But hopefully that's going well too. I will actually, under the break quickly, see if the YouTube's going well, as I haven't probably checked it. Did get told off the other night for not going on YouTube, and now I'm trying to do it. Let me just double check that we are live on that. Oh, I don't think we are. Oh, there we are. Well, never mind, we are live. Nobody in there, but we are live, which is nice to see. Well, in the pit lane then for some drivers here, we've got 213 in the TikTok. If you haven't followed already, make sure you do. We are 19 followers away from 3,200 before the end of the stream, and under a full safety car, waiting for all of the pit stops to come in. Need to buy an extra monitor for YouTube. I've got 3 monitors. The main one in the middle is for the game. The one on the right, I use Streamlabs, so I can see, obviously, the stream and the Twitch chat. Then I've got my phone in the middle, which I can see the TikTok, and then on the left, I usually keep Discord open on my left screen because I don't want to miss anything on the on the Discord, because I don't normally get notifications for it. So always keep it up just so I can keep an eye on what is going on. I was thinking of getting a 4th monitor though and putting it above. I think that'd be pretty cool, but that maybe is something for the future. As 5 laps in at 22 then, and we are waiting to go racing again. Still, drivers catching up behind that safety car, and I did tell you it does take a bit longer to do so. I also want to say, which I haven't announced yet, for the 6 p.m. race, for the 4 p.m. race, never mind, I'm skipping forward, I am doing a co-commentary. I will be, of course, leading the commentary with my good friend Yala Boy, who will be joining us for a co-commentary. Me and him go way back. Used to run the league together all those years ago when I first started getting into F1 on the game. And he will be joining us for a co-coms. I don't know how it's going to go because I've not commentated with somebody for a long time, and I'm so used to doing all the speaking. So I'm gonna do my best to make it good for you guys. But I have got the track for that as well, which I will tell you when we get to it. So if you want to know what the track is, if you want to see the co-commentary, join us at 4 p.m. for the social race. They're still behind the safety car, but the queue is getting longer as everybody catching up now. As we have got a lot of people in the TikTok chat, and the number gaining then, of course, as the bots start to flood in with Mikey's treasure chest. And into the pit lane now for Not Brownie, who didn't go in last time around. Just coming now with a Red Bull. and gets on some new tyres. So a nice race we've had so far, but we are still under a safety car and not being able to go racing just yet. In the TikTok, make sure you're following. We are now 9 followers away on 3,200, gaining more and more every time I say it. Can we do the final push to 9 more now to get 3,200 before the end of the stream this evening? Trying to reach that goal. Very, very nearly there now. Someone says, I'm in Toronto now. What time is that for me? 4 p.m. your time. That would be, if I'm correct, 11 a.m. if it's 5 hours behind. But I think it should be 5 hours behind. I might be wrong, though. Could be more. I could be completely wrong there, actually. So many people joining us then, and hopefully sticking around for this safety car restart here in Spa. Only 6 laps in of 22. And all the gifts being sent in the chat now. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much for your roses. And we just wait now behind the safety car. Should be coming in at the end of this lap, as we have got everybody lined up now behind it. If it doesn't come in, then there's a problem. We are at 4 followers away from 3,200. Can we get there? I'm sure we can. Only 4 more people need to hit that follow button now before the end of the stream. Can we get there before the safety car restart? Which is just about to happen. Jack, I fear you've forgotten my name. I have, mate. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. It's in the back of my mind, but I can't remember it. And you told me once, and I said I weren't going to forget it. And I feel really bad. But there's so many people in the stream every time. And, you know, my brain's proper fried from all this commentary recently. We have just hit as well 3,200 followers, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody, for the support. And before the safety car restart as well. As here come the drivers towards the bus stop chicane. The 2 Alpines lead the pack away. Then from the Williams, then from the Haas, we go racing again here in Spa, down towards turn 1, and we have green flags all around. The Alpines, they're looking good into the background already. It is Harco into the wall, spinning the back end round. Such a shame from him, but the action still continues from in front as position changes all around. The two Audi, change places as these guys battle all the way up towards the top of Eau Rouge here. It's side by side, then the McLaren goes up the inside line. Stubler goes through, but round goes the Cadillac into the wall, and now down the Kemmel straight there, battling away. Behind that, the Cadillac trying to get back in, the Audi trying to get back involved. Round the outside line for him, and sending it very late, but the Williams with a bit of a better corner there, manages to hold it for a minute. The Audi makes contact with his own teammate here into the backside of him. Then comes Best Noah and Emmanuel, who changed places into 11th place here for Emmanuel ahead of Best Noah. Then comes the 2 Ferraris. But a very nice start for many drivers. It's crazy battles and action going on. As from the front, Stint then in the Alpine, getting ahead and running away with it by 4/10 of a second then from Brambles. Both Alpines running away with it. Solo the Eater, 8/10 of a second behind that. Stint in the Alpine, one of the drivers that did not decide to come into the pit lane on that safety car. Bramble and Solar did. Luke M didn't as well. He stayed out to gain track position up to 4th place. How did your race go yesterday? I started P15, got all the way to P4, and then crashed. It went wrong. It went very badly wrong. But I had it, it was fairly nice up until that point. As there you go, side by side, Ace and Luke M up the inside for the Haas, who has a better jump on him, as now there's Stubler getting involved and trying to go for a double overtake here in Spa, trying to go round the outside line, switching it back underneath. He's not able to do it just yet, but sticking in the slipstream with the Haas is now get a better run out of the bus stop chicane, and now towards the line, up towards that inside line. Can the McLaren go through? On the Haas, contact made then. And Haas does go ghosted. That's going to bring the Williams involved now. BC Law retires from the session through the bus stop chicane round the final turn. And level up towards Eau Rouge. What a move there for Luke M, who holds it on the Stubler. What an overtake that was. Ace now continues on through past 1, through past 2, through goes Ace in the Haas into 4th place then with a brilliant double overtake there down the Kemmel straight. What an overtake that was then. Oh, going off wide there for skill issues in the backside. Losing time then on the grass. Gets himself back on, but I think losing places as well. And gone wrong for him, unfortunately. As Brownie gets back in the session, there is an Audi. Stopped completely on Eau Rouge and out. It is BC Lol. Thank you very much for all the support in the chat, guys, as well. I really do appreciate it. There's Aaron in the chat as well. Nice to have you with us, mate. But 8 laps in at 22, and we have had a really consistent number of people, nearly 200 people still in the TikTok, and because of the amount of people joining us, managed to reach that follow goal again. We are now, as you know, going for 3,300 in the TikTok, and already 13 over that goal we were asking for a minute ago. Insane, the amount of followers we're gaining at the minute, as we watch Solar the Yeeter now on the backside of Brambles, and in towards the first corner on the 9th lap of 22. Lap 11 is halfway in this Grand Prix, and we aren't even far away from that, and we would probably already be there without the safety car. This just shows the race is going quickly as Skill Issues looking to make a move there on the McLaren. Can't do so. Now Luke M involved. He's now on the backside and slipstreaming all the way up towards Eau Rouge then. The McLaren on the backside not able to get ahead as Luke M and Skill Issues still arguing a battle away. Here comes Luke M on the backside. Through goes the McLaren of the Stubler this time, though, who goes through past 1 but runs out of battery and can't make the move. Has to back out. Now stays behind, running off wide there for the Mercedes of Skill Issues. Luke M then running in 6 as Maximizer retires from the session now. This battle continues all the way round to the right-hander. It's 3 abreast as the Williams gets pushed off wide here. The McLaren on the inside with a bit of advantage now and through ahead of the Mercedes who backs off. And this battle will continue all the way round this lap at the minute. A very long lap as Bobby Lyons now from the back of the grid on the start now, making his way back up through the order into 6th position. And on the outside tried to get ahead of the McLaren there as well, but there wasn't enough room to make it work. But he's still going to continue on as Ahmed now out in the Red Bull, causing yellow flags. And a very nice battle that we're witnessing here then in Spa. Commentary is world class. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Bobby Lyons now on the backside of the Stubler for an overtake once more. Gaining and gaining, and the guys behind are gaining too. A big battle forming here down towards the bus stop chicane, as on the outside line is the Red Bull locking up. That's going to leave room now for the Mercedes of Skill Issues, who does head round the outside. Not enough room then for him to make that pass. He's in the pit lane now for Stein in P11. And the Stubler leading this pack away. The top 3 are completely away at the moment then of Bramble. Oh, here we go. Bramble and Solar the Yeeter. Solar around the outside line. And for the first time today, going on the Grand Prix leader, it's contact between the Haas and the Alpine. Which driver is going to be leading this Belgian Grand Prix? Unfortunately, it won't be Solar at the moment. Bramble will get in front, but the Haas tries the inside again. He's relentless in his attempt to take this Grand Prix lead and still battling all the way through the middle sector. The Haas on the outside, not letting go on the Alpine, all the way down to Pillon. What a move that was. Bramble manages to take it back. Solar the Yeeter having to drop back, but we know how relentless he gets, and he is not going to settle for second place and second best round the outside line. He is one of the best now into P1. Solar the Yeeter as your leader for the first time now here in Belgium. What a move ahead of Bramble, both on equal amounts of battery as well, so Solar should stay in front here. As now Bramble trying to take it back. With the battery, not using any of it at the minute though, lifting and coasting, but still managing to pass that Haas car of Solar. Almost looked like he let him through there. Now Solar back on the power, does start to use a bit of battery, switches it back off straight away. And we are halfway into your Grand Prix here then with Emmanuel with a 3-second time penalty. Only 2 penalties now in 11 laps. Very clean race. Brownie gets 1 as well, makes it 3 as I say that. And even more follows coming in the TikTok. Really appreciate his support. Following then for battles like this as Solar the Yeeter underneath the trees then, going for that overtake on Bramble again and around the outside line. Can he get in front here today? He can't. Bramble's somehow holding that at the moment. And we are actually closing in on that goal of 3,300 followers already. A very consistent number of people in the chat. A lot of love in this stream as well. So many people joining us and watching along. Clearly a good choice of track by me. I'm very happy with it. There's only halfway into this Grand Prix then. 11 laps left of this race. Bramble's still in front, but Solar the Eater trying to bring that gap down, trying to get ahead. Closing the gap then, 0.3 of a second at the minute. And the Haas will be going onto the back straight in the minute with potentially an advantage. He does with more battery already burning there for Bramble. Solar gets on the power a little bit later. Now all the way down towards the bus stop chicane again for the 11th time. Can Solar the Eater this time make his way through past the Alpine, or is he sticking behind on purpose here as he's not burning any more battery? Lifting and coasting once again then, saving that battery back up. Back on the power early then, making sure not to spin. Foot flat to the floor now for the Haas, as he's got a lot of battery and he is going to try the move up the inside line. Solar the Yeeter with a lunge in towards turn 1 and ahead for a brief moment in time. Bramble now back on the power. Up towards Eau Rouge we go. The Alpine against the Haas and nobody's wanting to let off. 2 abreast into Eau Rouge and Solar the Yeeter has got that move done. But how long for? Because the Alpine's going to come back at him. And with the battery, burning it now all the way down towards the right-hander. Is he going to get back through? He does get back through. Brilliant overtake for the Alpine, but may have used a bit too much battery. However, actually both on fairly equal battery here, so I don't think he did. Honestly, absolutely loving this race and the support in the chat. When we have this many people supporting and messaging as well, you know, getting involved, it is really nice to see you all here. If you're still around, give us your race prediction, everybody. Who do we think is going to win? Because usually it's an easy pick. You can just say Solar the Eater, and you're most likely going to get it right. But Bramble and Solar, they're both kind of bringing they're bringing the action here. These two, could be any of them. It could be absolutely any of them today. Solar's behind, but he's got the pace. He's absolutely got the pace. We can see it. Someone as Caden, if I'm right, it says Bobby Trust. If I've said that wrong again, let me know. But I think it was Caden. As here is Solar the Yeeter then, trying to catch Bramble. Still having to hold back. And locking up as well through the bus stop. You remember mine there? I know, first time. I've got it now. We've got it in the head. As Solar the Eater is going to try and make that pass again. Waiting back. It's not the time to do it just yet. Let's see what we're missing here. Emmanuel and skill issue then. Battle away. As he tries to go around the outside line. Emmanuel now is going to be ahead of skill issue. Gets the move done. Matt Conn, they're not too far behind that as well in the Audi Revolut. Solar the Eater down the Kemmel straight has now taken that Grand Prix lead for a moment. But not for long, because Bramble in the Alpine is taking it back into the lead of this Grand Prix. And it's just yo-yoing between the drivers, isn't it? Completely back and forth between every single one of them. Especially these two at the front. And I've got no clue who's going to win this Grand Prix today. I really don't. As Caden says he's going to get his username changed. You don't have to do that, mate. You don't have to do that if you don't want. I'm sure it's in my mind now. Kean win incoming, says Kean. Nah, absolutely, mate. That is what we want to see. A Kean win would be amazing, wouldn't it? It would be absolutely amazing in a race. Are you back for the next race, mate, Keane? Are you going to be in the 4 p.m. race? You'll have to let me know. I've not announced the track yet, but will be announced just before it starts. As Solar the Yeeter catching up here on the Alpine. And potentially going for that overtake for the race lead. Looks for the inside, then locking up. Doesn't make the lunge just yet. We are on lap 13, going on to lap 14 now then here in Spa, and the Haas just catching up as much as he can with a gap of 3/10, but it's coming down, lifting and coasting on purpose here, regenerating that battery, getting it back in his car as they come out level here with an Aston Martin out of the pit lane, and they go past. And so do the Yeeter up Eau Rouge now with the overspeed on the Alpine, using the battery and can't pick a way to go. It will be the outside line here for the Haas. So do the Yeeter, going for the lead again here in Belgium. Tries for the outside, but still gets cut off here by the Alpine. As if you're joining us in the TikTok chat this evening, everybody, we are on 3,237 followers. And a move on the inside line for the Haas of Solar the Yeeter. A very nice lunge, who takes the lead of this Belgian Grand Prix for a moment. But will this Alpine take it back? You once again, another lunge. These guys, absolutely brilliant battle in between them. Can't get in front just yet. Bramble, for the first time, being held behind here. But how long for on this back straight? Both drivers on 100% battery here. And both burning, using the boost all the way down towards the bus stop chicane for the 14th time now. And Bramble getting closer, lets off the battery, downshift to 7th now with the super clipping. And now trying to make the pass on the Haas, which I think he will, getting ever closer. And if he keeps this line, he will take the inside on the next corner. If he can keep his car there, he does. And through goes Bramble for the Grand Prix lead once more. And so do the Yeeter and the Haas, just trying to take it back. But I think he's going to go for it on the Camel Straight. That's where we've been seeing it mostly. Is going to get a bit closer here then. But it's going to be a move down the Camel Straight. Mark my words, I think he will do it there. 3.5 tenths of a second, the gap between the two. And so they're now with a good exit, already catching on the Alpine. Here we go then, once again. Deja vu, we've seen this battle before, haven't we? So the Yeeter now on Bramble on the outside line, but saving that battery, waiting behind here. As ahead goes Bramble once again. And their batteries are actually not the same. 30% for Bramble, 50 for Solar. And that is the effect of Solar the Yeeter waiting back on purpose on the end of that straight to regenerate some of that battery power. Now a 20% difference, and that now comes to a 30% difference. Could be an issue for Bramble in a moment when he finds out that Solar's got another 20-30% of battery power to deploy over him. Bramble has to try and hold this. Solar the Yeeter is going to be an unstoppable force once they get to that back straight. Now through towards the middle sector, or the end of the middle sector then, here in Spa, and it is Solar in the Haas, 4/10 of a second the gap, but with a little bit more battery then over Bramble in front. Not much, but a little bit more. Could hold an advantage as they make their way down. And is catching up, but always turns that battery off about halfway down the straight, just so he has enough now to regenerate. The battery does start to gain and generate itself back up just before they turn in. And now back on the power, onto the straight. Lap 16 of 22. There isn't many laps left of this race now then. As the Stubler and skill issues then in P7 and 8, switching back underneath then. Skill issue is switching back underneath for Stubler, who is in front at the minute, but this Mercedes is going to come back at him round the outside line of one. Now up the inside line of the other. Skill issues makes a very nice pass on two drivers, sending it too deep, then gets re-overtaken by Matt Connor. Still holds it from the Stubler though in the McLaren. Here comes skill issues again though, back in front, and before Eau Rouge into 6th place. Move has been completed for him. Mad to see the amount of people in the chat that aren't in the server. I know, it's mental. We got 200 people nearly in the TikTok at the minute. And a very nice battle forming up at the front. We are very nearly at 3,250 followers as well. We could get that 3,300 goal before the end of the night. So quite a few streams to come today. So honestly, I'm expecting 3,500 followers by the end of the day. If it keeps going like this, because there is a few more streams. And I think JP's taken the later ones this evening as well. So there's this one. There's the 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. still to come. So the Yeeter catching Bramble here in the latter stages. And just going for that overtake when he can. There's only 0.4 of a second the gap, bringing the gap down as much as he can here. 60% battery, both on pretty much equal. As Harko out, that could be a safety car. It isn't a safety car, as I think he retired in the pit lane. Harko out then here in Spa. And we continue on with the drivers. This battle at the back continues as well. Yes, Drew, it is Imola 6 p.m. I've chosen a track for 4 p.m., but I've not announced it yet. As round the outside line goes Skill Issue into 7th, but he isn't ahead of Matt Connor just yet. And Matt Connor will hold that Skill Issue to 7th. The Stubler doing what he can here to catch up, but he's not going to be enough because Skill Issue is already there. And through past Matt Connor into 6th place. Matt Connor down to 7th, and Stubler now in 8th. The Kemmel Straight coming up where the battery power can be used. A long runway now for the drivers to try and make any overtake possible. But not enough, as the Audi does try to force a pass on the Mercedes. Knew that was going to end in commotion and will drop back for now. Lap 17 of 22 coming to an end very soon with Brambles and Solar the Yeeter as your leaders. And without a time penalty, only 4 people with time penalties in this race, I have to say. Really impressive. Better than I've seen in most days recently. It's been quite bad with the penalties in certain races, but for today, this has been pretty damn good. And we are making our way around for the 18th lap of this race now to give us 4 more laps around. As MR with a 3-second time penalty. And we head up towards the line then with the drivers. These two have got a 10-second gap to Ace behind. And Ace is pretty quick. Brambles and Solar just a cut above the rest. Completely better than anybody I've ever seen really in WRC. And they make their way up towards the Kemmel Straight now, but the Haas is really impatient and trying to make it up Eau Rouge. Now down the Kemmel Straight they go, and so do the Yeeter, trying for that overtake up the inside line here of the Alpine. Level between the drivers, but the leader somehow holding on to that lead still. And so do the Yeeter is just not able to take that at the minute. Waiting back though for the right opportunity to come round again. Bramble out in front, Solar second place. As I mentioned, 11 seconds now. These guys are behind as Bobby Lyons now up the inside line. The great overtake and a driver retiring in the pit lane. I think that's the Ferrari who's out. As Bobby Lyons continues, he goes into 3rd place and now on the podium places. If Ace has nothing to say about that, which he does, and a very confident move round the outside for the Haas. Back into 3rd place. And the Red Bull taking it back again. Bobby Lyon then, who did get a 5-place grid penalty on the start, fighting his way back through the order and somehow back onto the podium places. Is Ace going to take it back again? He does try it. Gets the door shut on him. As Bobby does not let him get back through. And lap 18 then of 22 here in the Grand Prix, going on to lap 19 in a moment's time. If you are in the TikTok chat and haven't followed us already, make sure you do. We're going for 3,300 by the end of this stream. We are at 3,250, 50 more follows now away from the goal and gaining so many this stream already. I think JP gained quite a few earlier as well. He had a nice stream, it looked like, as Brownie with a 3-second time penalty. These guys make their way up towards the Kemmel Straight once more. And Solar the Yeeter catching this Alpine. Will the Haas finally get the move done and dusted on the 19th lap of 22? Is he waiting for the final lap potentially? or is he just genuinely struggling to make that overtake? Solar putting the pressure on, and still can't do it. They're putting a massive gap between the guys behind, though. 12.8 seconds then is the gap, and gaining lap by lap, getting larger and larger, and Bobby Lyons is really bringing the action to Ace, and that's maybe why the gap's getting so big, because these guys are battling away at the back. These guys at the front are battling equally as well, but with the pace they've got, they are still gapping the guys behind lap by lap. As Solar the E to them with a 2.5 of a second gap, now down to 3, and burning that battery in the boost mode. Foot planted for the Haas, who is trying to go for a Grand Prix win this evening, and probably going to be quite annoyed when he doesn't win a race at the minute because of the amount that he has been winning. And now the 20th lap of this Grand Prix begins. We only have 2 laps left then in Belgium. It's probably about 5 more minutes of racing because of the lap times. But we've got Stubler, Skilly Shoes and Matt Connor as well battling away at the back. Stubler gets in front, but how long for? Skilly Shoes now trying to make that move the inside line in the Mercedes. Can't do it. Matt Connor as well behind that in 8th. Now switching back underneath of the Mercedes with the foot planted. Still can't do it just yet. Might make a late lunge. The Mercedes does go for it on the McLaren. Late lunge up the inside line into 8th place now, and ahead he goes. Stubler into 7. Skilly Shoes a little bit ahead of that then. But Matt Connor finding a bit of pace, gaining now on Stubler in the McLaren. Bit onto the grass as he tries to get himself up the inside line. Now trying to take it back with the speed. Not letting off at all then. Maybe sacrificed a bit of battery there. Stubler now gets in front into 7. Matt Connor around the inside line and ahead here in Spa. It takes P7 really well here. Whereas these guys battle along and continue this battle all the way until the end. Tyres on your screen then as well. We're on 15 lap old hards for most people. Everyone's trying to go till the very end on these tyres. And it's been successful so far for everybody. Bramble and Solar are having the greatest battle up at the front. And on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix here in Spa then, with Bramble as your leader in the Alpine. And this is where Solar needs to get a move on in these latter stages if he wants to win this Grand Prix. A race win just ahead of him if he can get ahead of one driver. But at the minute it's proving difficult, unless he's been doing it on purpose. Just potentially going to be leaving it maybe till this lap or the last lap now. Nearly 200 people in the TikTok as well, 33 in the Twitch. A really nice viewing of people in the stream this evening. Probably the most we've had consistently for a very, very long time, which is really nice. Here comes Ace and Bobby Lyons then. 3 abreast between these guys. Is Stein involved as well. Ace goes into 3rd, then 4 Bobby Lyons. As Stein now in the Alpine tries to go around the outside line. He's not able to do it into P5, and the reason why he's so far back is because he made a pit stop. He's on the 11 lap old hards. Everybody else has tried to continue on till the end, and they may be losing the grip. They may be struggling then at the end, but there's only 1 1/3 of a lap left to decide the winner of this Grand Prix. It's going to be a very nice last lap showdown then to see if Solar can win it, or is it going to be Bramble that takes all the glory? And for the first time, we might get a different winner. I mean, Solar, of course, not taking all the wins recently, has took a few. There has been, of course, other race winners other than him, but he has been one of the most common names on that winners list. And we now head through the bus stop chicane then for the 1 and final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. Bramble then as your leader in the Alpine, doing everything he can to win this race, and Solar trying for a move up the inside there, but already pushing on the backside of the Alpine. I think that Solar was waiting until the last lap. Honestly, the pace that he's showing at the minute is looking good. Sticking behind Bramble here in the Alpine, down towards the Kemmel Straight, and with the battery power on their final lap of the race, it's the Haas of Solar the Yeeter going side by side then with his rival for this evening, going through past Bramble up the inside line. The Alpine and the Haas battling away. Through goes Solar. Bramble down to second place. And can he hold it now at the very end of this Grand Prix, everybody? 220 people watching live in the TikTok. Solar the Yeeter out in front in the Haas. For the first time today, getting ahead properly. I think he was waiting till the last lap. He's only gone and done it, and now already putting a gap between him and Bramble of half a second. Solar is pushing it here at the end. He was waiting until the very end of this Grand Prix to do it, and I think he might actually put a second between him and Bramble at the end. How has he gone and done that? I do not know. But leaving it very late, and Solar the Yeeter in the Haas at the minute, going to be going on to win this Belgian Grand Prix. If Bramble doesn't have anything to say about that, he's going to be burning his battery now on the red fuel light though, and lighter than Solar here, but he may run out towards the line. Solar the Yeeter still is your leader with only 0.3 of a second. The gap is going to be tight down towards bus stop as Brambles is going to probably send it from far back. Brambles with a late lunge up the inside line, doesn't go for it. Solar then round the bus stop chicane and round the final turn. It'll be foot flat to the floor as Bramble will try and take it away. But at the very end, Solar the Yeeter taking a Grand Prix win here in Belgium. It is Bramble who comes home for second place, and P3 will be Bobby Lyon then if Ace can't do anything about that. In the Red Bull, round the final turn and towards the line. Bobby Lyons then into third place at the end. Ace takes 4. P5 then will be Stein as across the line he goes. As Matt Connor now battling with skill issues. Look at this battle round the final corner. I think they've gone round. Matt Connor battling away with the McLaren. I think skill issues went round. He did. Matt Connor and Stubler now across the line. P6 for skill issues. Ben Veen in 7, Matt Connor 8, Stubler 9. No, not Brownie and Butcher battling away and going wide for the racing ball. Power down, but it isn't enough here as the Mercedes takes P11 on time penalties. Butcher gets 10. As Emmanuel will take P12 at the end, and over 250 people watching live at the minute, which is really, really nice to see. And at the very end of this, if you haven't followed the TikTok already, make sure you do. We are 37 followers away from 3,300. There's more than 37 in here. If you haven't followed already, make sure you do. Can we get that final 37 before the end of the stream then to get 3,300? Only a few minutes left to get that goal. But what an ending to this Grand Prix, everybody. What an ending indeed. As here is your podium celebrations. A really fun race, I have to say. Saving me from missing F1. Love to see that. Yeah, listen to Mikey, of course. Hit the follow button. What a stream, everybody. We've got 206 people, at most about 250. Only 30 followers away from 3,300. Been very successful tonight, or this afternoon, I must say. As race winner for Solar, fastest lap to Stein, driver of the day to skill issues, most overtakes to Luke M, and Stein with the cleanest driver award. As your top 3 finish results then. Solar, Bramble and Bobby Lyons then for your top 3 at the end of this stream tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for this race. Solar has told you I was waiting back. And he did. The last lap managed to get it done and wins with a race time of 42 minutes here. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Me and Jarl will be on commentary at 4 p.m. to do it all again with another track, which I'm not telling you just yet until we get there. Make sure you're joining us for that. Have a good rest of the afternoon, and I will see you at 4 p.m. See you later. Championship, he has shown up today, crossing the line. He will win the first round of the season. He wins the Australian Grand Prix. F1 Nathan, on his debut, wins here in WRC.